Welcome to Sleepy Time Stories. Hey dear friends, fall asleep to a calm journey through the hidden history of football and the FIFA World Cup 2026. A 2-hour relaxing sleep story designed for deep rest and peaceful dreams. Before starting the story, like and subscribe to my channel for more relaxing stories. Now start the story. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Tonight, we are going on a very long, very deep, very gentle journey. We're not going to a loud stadium or a busy city street. Instead, we're going to explore the quiet side of the FIFA World Cup 2026. This is the untold story behind football's biggest event. It is the story of silence after the cheers, of stillness after the running, of deep rest after days and nights of excitement. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will bring together millions of people across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. There will be goals and trophies and celebrations that shake the earth. But tonight, we will find the calm inside that storm. We will learn how to sleep through the world's largest football tournament. So find your most comfortable position. Pull your blanket up to your chin. Let your breathing become slow and soft, like the tide coming in and out on a quiet beach. Let your muscles relax one by one, starting with your toes and moving slowly up to your head. And let me tell you a very long, very peaceful story about rest, quiet, and the beautiful game. Imagine a giant stadium on a warm summer evening. The year is 2026. The stadium is in Los Angeles, California, and it is one of the many magnificent venues hosting the FIFA World Cup 2026. The lights are bright enough to be seen from space. The field is perfectly green, cut so short that it looks like velvet. But in our story, we are not there during a match. No, we are there long after the final whistle has blown. The fans have gone home, their voices hoarse from cheering. The players have gone to their hotels, their legs heavy with fatigue. The only people left are a few cleaners and security guards, moving slowly through the vast emptiness. The lights have been dimmed to a soft, golden glow. The thousands of seats are empty, each one a small cup of silence. The flags of different nations hang motionless from the rafters, their colors faded in the low light. A soft wind blows through the open roof, carrying the faint smell of grass and popcorn and the distant memory of roaring crowds. If you listen very carefully, you can hear a distant echo of cheering, but it is so faint that it sounds like the ocean inside a seashell held to your ear. This is the untold story of the FIFA World Cup 2026. It is the story of what happens when the noise fades away. It is the story of peace returning to the place where millions shouted. It is the story of rest after exhaustion, of quiet after chaos. Now, let us walk slowly around the outside of the stadium. The sidewalks are wet from an evening sprinkle of rain that came and went quickly. The air smells clean and fresh. Street lamps glow with warm orange light, casting soft circles on the ground. A few cars drive by on the distant highway, but they move slowly, as if they're also tired after a long day. Their headlights cut through the darkness like sleepy eyes opening and closing. A cat sits on a wooden bench near a bus stop, cleaning its paws with slow, deliberate licks. It looks up at you with sleepy eyes that seem to say, "I know something you do not know." Then it closes them again, curling into a small ball of fur. The cat does not care about the FIFA World Cup 2026. The cat does not know which team won or who scored the winning goal. The cat only cares about its nap. The cat only cares about the warmth of its own body and the softness of the bench. You can learn something from this cat. You can learn to let go of excitement and embrace stillness. The cat does not check the score on its phone. The cat does not watch highlights on a screen. The cat finds a warm spot, curls into a ball, and closes its eyes. Tonight, you could be like that cat. You can curl up in your bed, pull the blanket around you, close your eyes, and let the world do whatever it wants. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will continue without you for a few hours. That is perfectly fine. The cat knows this. Now you know it too. Let us think about the players for a longer moment. They are the heart and soul of the FIFA World Cup 2026. They run faster than almost any human on earth. They kick the ball with incredible precision and power. They score goals that make the whole stadium shake with joy or sorrow. But after the match, they are just tired humans, no different from you or me. They go to quiet locker rooms that smell of sweat and soap and grass. The locker rooms are filled with wooden benches, white towels, and small lockers painted in team colors. They sit down heavily and take off their cleats, one at a time, slowly. Some of them put ice packs on their knees or their hamstrings. Some of them stretch their legs while lying on the cool floor. Some of them just lie on their backs and stare at the ceiling, watching the fluorescent lights flicker. Their hearts slow down from a gallop to a walk. Their breathing becomes normal again, deep and even. Then they take long, warm showers. The water runs over their faces and shoulders and backs. They close their eyes under the water and let it wash away the dirt and the sweat and the tension. They do not think about the game. They do not replay the missed chances or the great saves. They think about nothing at all. Their minds become as empty as the stadium after the crowd leaves. Then they put on soft clothes, sweatpants and hoodies, and walk to a bus or a car. They ride to their hotel in silence, looking out the dark windows at the passing city. The city is still alive with fans celebrating, but the players do not see them. They see only their own reflections in the glass. They go to their rooms, which are cool and dark and quiet. They fall onto their beds, not even bothering to pull back the covers. They do not watch television. They do not look at their phones. They simply close their eyes and let sleep cover them like a soft, heavy blanket. Even the greatest footballers in the world need sleep. Even the heroes of the FIFA World Cup 2026 must rest. And when they sleep, they dream of green fields and open skies. But their dreams are slow and peaceful, like clouds moving across a summer afternoon. Now imagine a fan zone in a big park, somewhere in the heart of a host city. This is where people gather to watch matches on enormous screens that are as tall as buildings. There are thousands of people, all wearing jerseys of many different colors. They sing and dance and wave flags. They eat tacos and pizza and ice cream and hot dogs. The atmosphere is electric, like a storm of joy. But late at night, after the last match of the day ends, the fan zone transforms into something completely different. The enormous screens go dark, first one, then another, until there is only black glass. The speakers stop playing the upbeat music that kept everyone dancing. The colorful lights that flashed and spun are dimmed to a soft, warm glow. The crowd thins out slowly, like water draining from a bathtub. Families gather their children and their blankets and walk home. Groups of friends call for taxis and ride away. And then, only a few people remain. These are the ones who are too tired to go anywhere. They lie on blankets on the grass, using their backpacks as pillows. They look up at the stars, which are just becoming visible as the city lights fade. The sky is huge and dark and full of tiny lights. A few clouds drift slowly across the moon. The people whisper to each other in low, sleepy voices. They talk about their favorite moments of the day, the goals that made them jump, the saves that made them gasp. Then they yawn, long and deep. Their eyes get heavy. Their words become slower and softer. One by one, they close their eyes and fall asleep right there on the grass. The night air is cool and gentle on their faces. The ground is soft, springy with new grass. A distant fountain bubbles somewhere in the park, creating a natural lullaby. The sound of a train passes in the distance, a low rumble that fades away. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is still happening in other cities, in other time zones, but here, in this park, there is only sleep. These fans have found the secret. They have learned how to sleep through the excitement, how to let the world be loud while their own world becomes quiet. They have discovered that rest is not the enemy of celebration. Rest is what makes celebration possible. Without rest, there is no energy to cheer. Without sleep, there is no joy in the morning. Let us walk through a quiet neighborhood during the tournament. It is a residential area far from any stadium, a place of small houses with porches and gardens. Most of the lights are off. The street is dark except for the soft glow of a few street lamps. A few windows glow with the blue light of televisions, but the sound does not travel outside. The houses are well insulated, keeping the noise in and the peace out. Inside one house, a family is watching a match, but the volume is very low, almost a whisper. The father is already asleep on the couch, his head tilted back, his mouth slightly open. He is snoring softly, a gentle sound like a cat purring. The mother is knitting a scarf, her needles clicking in a slow rhythm. The children are lying on the floor on soft rugs, holding their stuffed animals. The television shows players running across a green field, but no one in the room is shouting or clapping. The only sound is the soft clicking of the knitting needles, the gentle breathing of the sleeping father, and the occasional yawn from one of the children. After the match ends, the mother turns off the TV with the remote. The room becomes completely silent except for the snoring. She sets down her knitting. She reaches over and gently touches her husband's shoulder. He opens his eyes slowly, blinks a few times, and smiles at her. He does not ask who won. He does not care. He is warm and comfortable. Together, they carry the children to their beds. The children do not wake up. They are too deep in sleep, their bodies limp and heavy. The parents tuck them in, kiss their foreheads, and pull the blankets up to their chins. Then the parents go to their own room. They lie down on a bed side by side. The room is dark. They hold hands under the blanket. They whisper good night to each other. Then they close their eyes. Their breathing slows. They fall asleep within minutes. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is over for today. Their house is quiet. Their hearts are at peace. This is the untold story behind football's biggest event. It is the story of ordinary people finding rest in the middle of a global celebration. It is the story of families who love the game but love sleep even more. Now, think about the referees for a while. They have one of the hardest jobs in the FIFA World Cup 2026. They run almost as much as the players, covering miles of grass over the course of a match. They make split-second decisions that can change the outcome of the game. Everyone watches them. Everyone judges them. Every fan has an opinion about whether they made the right call or the wrong call. After a match, their bodies are tired, and their minds are even more tired. But they have a special routine that helps them find peace. They go to a private room in the stadium, a small room with comfortable chairs and a table. They sit down and take off their shoes. They drink cool water from bottles. They do not talk about the match right away. Instead, they close their eyes and breathe. They practice deep breathing for 10 or 15 minutes, focusing only on the air going in and out of their lungs. They let go of every whistle they blew. They let go of every foul they called. They let go of every yellow card and red card. They imagine a calm lake in the mountains, the water so still that it reflects the sky like a mirror. They imagine a forest path covered in soft pine needles, leading to a small cabin. They imagine lying in a hammock between two palm trees on a quiet beach, the waves lapping at the shore. Then, after they have relaxed, they take long showers. The hot water loosens their muscles. They change into clean, soft clothes. They eat a light meal, perhaps soup or a sandwich, eaten slowly and without hurry. Then they go to their hotel rooms. The beds have white sheets that smell like lavender. The The pillows are soft and supportive. They lie on their backs and put their hands on their stomachs. They feel their stomachs rise and fall with each breath. They do not think about tomorrow's match or the match they just finished. They think only about the rise and fall like waves on that calm lake. And soon, they are asleep. Their sleep is deep and dreamless. It is the sleep of a clear conscience and a tired body. The FIFA World Cup 2026 continues outside their windows, with fans singing and cars honking, but inside their rooms, there is only peace. The referees have earned this peace. They have worked for it, and now they rest. Let us visit a hotel lobby in the middle of the night. The hotel is near one of the major stadiums hosting the FIFA World Cup 2026. Earlier in the evening, this lobby was full of fans laughing, talking, and drinking. The sofas were crowded. The check-in desk had a long line. The elevators were constantly opening and closing. But now, at 2 in the morning, the lobby is almost empty. A single receptionist sits behind the desk. She is a young woman with dark hair and kind eyes. She is reading a book, a novel about a woman who moves to a small village in Italy. A pot of tea sits next to her, but the tea is cold now. She does not mind. She sips it slowly, enjoying the quiet. The elevator dings softly, and a tired journalist walks out. He has been writing about the FIFA World Cup 2026 for 12 hours straight. His eyes are red. His shoulders are hunched. He carries a laptop bag that seems very heavy. He nods at the receptionist, but he cannot speak. His voice is gone from shouting into a recorder during the post-match interviews. He takes his key from her without a word. He walks to the elevator, his footsteps slow and heavy. The doors close behind him. The receptionist goes back to her book. The lobby is silent except for the soft hum of the refrigerator behind the bar. A large plant in the corner has long, green leaves that droop sleepily toward the floor. The receptionist yawns, a long, slow yawn that makes her eyes water. She looks at the clock on the wall. 2 more hours until her shift ends. She is not worried. She is not impatient. She will finish her shift, go up to her small room on the 4th floor, lie down on her narrow bed, and sleep like a baby. The FIFA World Cup 2026 does not keep her awake. She has learned to find rest even in a busy hotel, even in the middle of a global tournament. She simply decides to be calm, and calm comes to her. Now imagine a small apartment in New York City, far from the nearest FIFA World Cup 2026 stadium. A young woman lives there alone. She is not a football fan. She does not care about the tournament at all, but she hears about it everywhere she goes. On the subway, people talk about matches and players and goals. In the grocery store, the televisions above the checkout lanes show highlights of the previous night's games. Even her mother calls her from across the country to ask if she watched the big match. The young woman smiles and says no, she did not. Then she goes back to her quiet life. She works in a library, a beautiful old building with high ceilings and wooden shelves. She loves the silence of the library. She loves the smell of old books, paper, and ink and dust. She loves watching people read, their faces peaceful and focused. At night, she comes home to her small apartment. She makes a simple dinner, perhaps rice and vegetables or a bowl of soup. She eats slowly, savoring each bite, sitting at her small table by the window. Then she takes a bath. The water is warm, but not hot. She adds a few drops of lavender oil, which smells like a field of flowers. She closes her eyes and soaks for a long time, feeling the warmth spread through her body. After the bath, she puts on soft pajamas, the ones made of flannel with little moons and stars on them. She lies in her bed, which is covered with a thick, warm comforter. She listens to soft piano music, an album of gentle songs with no words. She does not think about football. She does not think about the FIFA World Cup 2026 or any of the players, or any of the matches. She thinks about the book she is reading, a story about a woman who plants a garden in the desert. She thinks about the garden she wants to plant in the spring, with tomatoes and basil and sunflowers. Her eyes get heavy. She turns off the music. She turns off the light. The room is dark and quiet. She falls asleep within minutes, her breathing slow and even. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is just background noise to her, like the sound of traffic or the hum of the refrigerator. Her world is small and peaceful. Her sleep is deep and undisturbed. She does not need the excitement of the tournament. She has found her own excitement in silence and rest. Let's think about the people who work at the stadiums. There are thousands of them, too many to count. Ticket takers, security guards, food vendors, cleaners, parking attendants, first aid workers, ushers, and many others. They work long hours during the FIFA World Cup 2026, often 12 or 14 hours a day. They see millions of faces. They hear endless cheering. Their feet hurt from standing. Their backs ache from bending and lifting. Their throats are sore from shouting instructions to confused fans. But when their shift finally ends, they go home. They take off their uniforms, which are sweaty and stained. They sit on their couches, in their living rooms, surrounded by their own things. Some of them fall asleep with their shoes still on, too tired to even move. Some of them make a quick snack, a piece of toast, or a bowl of cereal, and then go straight to bed. Their sleep is not glamorous. It is not shown on any highlight reel. It is not celebrated by the crowd, but it is real. It is necessary. Their bodies need that sleep to repair the damage of the day. Their minds need that sleep to process the thousands of faces and sounds and smells. And so they sleep. They sleep through the night, not waking even when their neighbors come home late. They sleep through the morning, missing breakfast and morning coffee. They wake up only when their alarms ring, harsh and insistent. Then they get up, shower, dress, and do it all over again. These workers are the unsung heroes of the FIFA World Cup 2026. They make the tournament possible. Without them, there would be no tickets taken, no food sold, no trash cleaned, no security provided. And they also show us an important truth. Rest is not a weakness. Rest is a strength. Rest is how we keep going day after day, night after night. Rest is the quiet engine that powers the loud celebration. Now visit a bus station late at night. This is a large, busy station in a city that is hosting the FIFA World Cup 2026. Buses arrive and depart at all hours, carrying fans from one host city to another. The station is large and echoey, with a high ceiling and hard floors. The lights are fluorescent and harsh, casting a greenish glow on everything. But even here, even in this noisy, bright, uncomfortable place, sleep finds a way. A group of young fans sits on a long bench near the departure gates. They're traveling from Seattle to Vancouver, a journey of several hours. They have been awake for almost 20 hours, watching matches, walking around the city, waiting in lines. Their energy is completely gone. Their heads nod forward like flowers bending under the weight of rain. One of them, a boy with curly hair, falls asleep leaning against a backpack. Another, a girl with braids, lies on the floor using a rolled-up jacket as a pillow. They do not care about the hard floor. They do not care about the bright lights. They do not care about the announcements coming over the loudspeaker. They are too tired. Sleep overcomes them like a gentle wave, pulling them under. The bus driver watches them from a distance, a kind smile on his face. He remembers being young, traveling to see his favorite team, falling asleep in strange places. He does not wake them. He lets them sleep. When the bus arrives at the gate, he walks over and gently touches their shoulders. They wake up slowly, confused about where they are, but grateful to have rested. They stumble onto the bus, find their seats, and close their eyes again. They sleep the whole way to Vancouver, the motion of the bus rocking them like a cradle. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is waiting for them at the end of the journey, but first they need rest. And they take it wherever they can find it, on benches and floors and buses. Let us imagine a family driving home after a match. The father is driving the car, his hands steady on the wheel. The mother is in the passenger seat, looking out the window at the dark highway. Two children are in the back seat, a boy and a girl, both wearing jerseys of their favorite team. The match was exciting, a close game that went into extra time. Their team won in the final minutes. The children screamed and jumped and hugged each other. But now, hours later, on the dark highway, everyone is quiet. The car moves at a steady speed, 70 miles per hour, the engine humming softly. The headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating the white lines on the road. The radio plays soft music, a station that plays slow songs from the 1970s and 80s. The children's eyes grow heavy. Their heads rest against the windows, leaving small circles of fog on the glass. They fall asleep holding their small foam fingers, the souvenirs they bought at the stadium. The parents talk in low voices, so low that the children cannot hear them, even if they were awake. They talk about work, about the house, about the garden, about what they will cook for dinner tomorrow. They do not talk about football. They are tired too. The father yawns a long, deep yawn. The mother says she will drive the rest of the way. They pull over on the shoulder of the road, the tires crunching on gravel. They switch seats carefully, not waking the children. The father closes his eyes in the passenger seat, leaning his head back against the headrest. He falls asleep to the sound of the tires on the asphalt, a steady, rhythmic sound like rain. The mother drives carefully, her eyes on the road, glancing every few minutes at her sleeping family in the rearview mirror. She feels a deep sense of love and peace, a feeling that fills her chest with warmth. They arrive home after midnight. The street is quiet. The house is dark. She wakes the father gently. Together, they carry the children to their beds. The children do not wake up. They are dreaming of goals and trophies and cheering crowds. But their dreams are soft and sweet, not loud and harsh. The parents go to their own bed. The house is still. The only sound is the hum of the refrigerator and the distant bark of a dog. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is over for another day. Tomorrow, there will be more matches, more excitement. But tonight, there is only rest. Now, think about the football itself, the ball that is at the center of everything. The ball is round, made of synthetic leather, with black and white patterns that make it easy to see on television. During a match, it flies through the air at great speed, sometimes over 70 miles per hour. It bounces off players' feet and heads and chests. It curves and dips and spins. It goes into the net and makes the crowd roar with joy or groan with despair. But after the match, the ball sits in a bag, a simple nylon bag with a zipper. It does not move. It does not make any sound. It rests in the darkness of the equipment room, surrounded by other balls and cones and training vests. It waits for the next game, the next practice, the next kick. The ball does not feel impatient. The ball does not miss the action. The ball does not get bored. The ball simply exists, still and quiet and patient. You can learn from the football. You can learn to be still without feeling bored. You can learn to rest without feeling guilty. You can learn to wait without feeling anxious. The football knows that rest is a natural part of its life. It spends far more time sitting in a bag than flying through the air. And that is okay. That is how it should be. The same is true for you. You spend far more time sleeping than cheering at a World Cup match. You spend far more time resting than celebrating. And that is not a problem. That is not a waste. That is how life works. Sleep is not a waste of time. Sleep is the foundation of everything else. Without sleep, there is no energy to cheer. Without rest, There is no joy in celebration. Let's visit a commentator's booth high above the field. The booth is a small room with a large window that looks down at the green grass below. The commentator has a desk, a microphone, a monitor showing the match from different angles, and a small bottle of water. During the FIFA World Cup 2026, he talks for 90 minutes without stopping, sometimes longer if the match goes into extra time. His voice rises and falls with the action, becoming loud when a goal is scored, soft when the play is slow. He describes every pass, every tackle, every shot, every save. Millions of people listen to him on their televisions and radios, in their homes, and in their cars. But after the match, he takes off his headset. He rubs his ears, which are sore from the pressure of the headphones. He drinks a glass of cool water, finishing in one long gulp. He sits in silence for a few minutes, just listening to the sound of his own breathing. The silence feels like a warm bath after a long day, soothing and welcoming. He looks out the window at the dark city. The lights of the stadium are turning off one by one, like stars disappearing at dawn. He packs his notes into a bag, a leather bag that he has used for 20 years. He walks down the long staircase, each step slow and deliberate. He gets into a car waiting for him outside. He does not talk to the driver. He looks out the window at the passing streets, the empty sidewalks, the closed shops. The city is quiet now. The fans have gone home. The celebration is over. He arrives at his hotel, a quiet place away from the main streets. He goes to his room. He takes a long shower, letting the hot water run over his shoulders and neck. He lies on the bed and stares at the ceiling, which is white and empty. He does not think about the match. He does not replay the key moments. He thinks about his daughter's birthday next week, about the gift he still needs to buy. He thinks about the new book he wants to read, a mystery novel set in a small English village. He yawns. He turns off the light. He pulls the blanket up to his chin. He falls asleep within minutes, his sleep deep and dreamless. The commentator has learned something important over the years. Even the loudest voice needs silence. Even the busiest mind needs rest. Even the most exciting job ends in a quiet room and a soft bed. Now imagine a training ground early in the morning, long before the sun is fully up. The training ground is where the players prepare for the FIFA World Cup 2026. It is a place of hard work and discipline, but in the early morning, it is also a place of peace. The sun is just beginning to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange and soft purple. The grass is wet with dew, each blade sparkling in the growing light. A few players arrive before anyone else. They're the ones who want to prepare quietly, without the noise of the crowd or the cameras. They do not run or shout. They stretch slowly on the grass, reaching for their toes, twisting their torsos, bending their knees. They close their eyes and breathe deeply, filling their lungs with the cool morning air. They meditate for 10 or 15 minutes, sitting cross-legged on the grass. They imagine themselves playing well, but they imagine it calmly, without excitement or anxiety. They imagine the ball moving smoothly from foot to foot. They imagine their feet moving lightly over the grass, like dancers on a stage. After meditating, they do gentle exercises. They jog slowly around the field, their feet barely making a sound. They kick the ball back and forth to each other without force, just tapping it gently. They do not compete. They do not keep score. They simply warm up their bodies, waking up each muscle one by one. Then they sit on the grass again in a small circle. They drink water from bottles. They watch the sun rise higher, the colors changing from pink to gold to blue. This is also part of the FIFA World Cup 2026, but no one films it. No one broadcasts it. No one tweets about it. It is the quiet preparation that happens before the noise, the calm before the storm. The players know that calm leads to good performance. Sleep and rest make them stronger, faster, sharper. They go to bed early the night before a match, usually by 9 or 10 o'clock. They sleep for 8 or 9 hours, sometimes 10. They wake up feeling refreshed and ready. Then they play beautiful football, the kind that makes the crowd stand and cheer. So when you sleep well tonight, you're doing the same thing as a World Cup player. You're taking care of yourself. You're getting ready for your own beautiful day, whatever that day may bring. Let's think about the trophy, the famous FIFA World Cup trophy. It is one of the most famous objects in all of sports, recognized by billions of people around the world. It is made of 18-karat gold, which means it is more than 75% pure gold. It weighs about 6 kilograms, which is more than 13 pounds. It shows two figures holding up the earth, a symbol of global unity and competition. It shines brightly under the stadium lights, reflecting the faces of the players who dream of lifting it. Many players imagine the weight of the trophy in their hands. They imagine the feeling of the cold gold against their palms. They imagine the crowd roaring as they lift it above their heads. But the trophy spends most of its time resting. It sits in a velvet-lined box in a secure location, guarded by security cameras and alarms. It does not move. It does not make noise. It does not feel pride or joy or excitement. It waits patiently for the next champion, the next team that will lift it high. The trophy does not get bored. The trophy does not feel impatient. The trophy does not long for the spotlight. It simply rests day after day, week after week, year after year. And when it's time to be lifted, it is lifted. Then it goes back to rest. This is a beautiful lesson for all of us. Glory is just a moment. After that moment, there is again stillness. After the celebration, there is again silence. Do not worry if you miss a match or a goal tonight. Do not worry if you fall asleep before the final whistle. Your rest is more important than any game. Your peace is more valuable than any trophy. The untold story behind football's biggest event is that sleep wins every time. Sleep is the true champion. Sleep is the trophy that you can lift every single night. Now visit a rainy night in Seattle, one of the host cities of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The rain falls softly on the streets, tapping on rooftops and car windows and umbrellas. It creates small puddles that reflect the colorful lights of the city, the neon signs, and the traffic lights. The stadium in Seattle has a roof, so the rain does not stop the match. But outside the stadium, the rain creates a peaceful atmosphere. A man walks home alone. He has an umbrella, a black one with a curved handle, but he does not open it. He likes the feel of the rain on his face. It is cool and gentle, like a soft hand touching his skin. He walks slowly, not in a hurry. He did not go to the match tonight. He spent the evening at home, reading a book about the history of the Pacific Northwest. Now he is going to bed. He enters his apartment, which is on the 3rd floor of an old building. He dries his hair with a towel. He makes a cup of warm tea, chamomile with a little honey. He sits by the window and watches the rain. The raindrops slide down the glass, leaving trails like tears. The sound is soft and steady, a constant tapping that is more soothing than silence. He finishes his tea. He brushes his teeth. He lies in his bed, pulling the blanket up to his chin. The rain continues to fall outside, singing its soft song. He closes his eyes. He listens to the rain. His breathing slows. His muscles relax. He falls asleep within minutes, carried away by the gentle rhythm of the water. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is happening a few miles away, with fans cheering and players running. But in his small apartment, there is only the rain and the dark and the quiet. He sleeps through it all, undisturbed and peaceful. Let us imagine a photographer who works at the FIFA World Cup 2026. He is a professional sports photographer, one of the best in the world. He runs along the sideline with a heavy camera, weighing several pounds. He kneels in the wet grass, getting his pants dirty. He climbs ladders to get the best angle, his heart pounding from the effort. He captures the winning goal, the ball just crossing the line. He captures the tears of the losing team, the players falling to their knees. He captures the joy of the fans, their hands in the air, their mouths open in screams. He works very hard, pushing his body to its limits. His back hurts from carrying the equipment. His eyes are tired from looking through the lens for hours. After the match, he sits on the floor of the press room, surrounded by other tired journalists. He downloads his photos onto his laptop. He looks at each one carefully, zooming in to check the focus, the exposure, the composition. He selects the best ones, usually 10 or 15 out of hundreds. He sends them to news agencies around the world, typing captions quickly. Then he packs his equipment carefully. He puts his camera in a padded bag. He puts his lenses in soft cases, each one in its own compartment. He zips everything closed, checking twice to make sure nothing is left behind. He walks to his car, which is parked in a garage several blocks away. He drives to his hotel, fighting to keep his eyes open. He does not eat dinner because he is too tired to chew. He falls onto the bed with his shoes still on. He sleeps for 6 hours, then wakes up, takes off his shoes, and sleeps for 2 more hours. His sleep is not perfect. It is interrupted and shallow, but it is enough. It gives him the strength to do it all again tomorrow. The photographer knows that without sleep, his photos would be blurry. Without rest, his eyes would miss the decisive moment. So he sleeps whenever he can, wherever he can, even if it is just for a few hours at a time. Now think about the fans who travel from far away to attend the FIFA World Cup 2026. They come from every corner of the globe. England, Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Japan, Australia, South Africa, France, Italy, Spain, and dozens of other countries. They save money for years, putting aside a little each month. They fly for hours across oceans, sometimes for 12 or 14 hours without stopping. They arrive tired but excited, their bodies confused by the new time zone. They go straight from the airport to the stadiums, carrying their luggage with them. They watch match after match, sometimes 2 or 3 in a single day. They sleep very little, only a few hours each night. But after a few days, their bodies rebel. They fall asleep on buses and trains, their heads nodding. They fall asleep in restaurants, their faces landing in their plates. They fall asleep standing in line for the bathroom, leaning against the wall. Their excitement cannot fight their exhaustion forever. Sleep always wins. It is stronger than any emotion. One night, a fan from Italy decides to skip a match. He stays in his hostel, a cheap place with bunk beds and share bathrooms. He lies on his bunk, which is narrow and hard. He puts on his headphones and plays calm music, the kind his grandmother used to listen to. He sleeps for 12 hours, from 8 in the evening until 8 in the morning. When he wakes up, he feels like a new person. His eyes are clear. His body is light. He goes to the next match with fresh energy, and he enjoys it more than any of the previous matches. He learns that missing one match is better than being half asleep for 3 matches. The FIFA World Cup 2026 has 64 matches in total. It is okay to rest during some of them. It is okay to choose sleep over excitement. Sleep will still be there when you wake up, and so will the tournament. Let us visit a quiet garden behind a busy street. The street is in a host city, and it is full of fans celebrating a big win. They wave flags and honk car horns and sing songs. The noise is loud, a constant roar like a waterfall. But the garden is hidden behind a tall stone wall covered with ivy. Inside, it is cool and green and completely silent except for natural sounds. Flowers bloom in every color, red and yellow and purple and white. A small fountain bubbles in the center, water falling from a stone bowl into a larger stone bowl. Bees buzz lazily from flower to flower, collecting nectar. A stone bench sits under a large oak tree, whose branches spread wide like arms. An old man sits on the bench. He is not watching the FIFA World Cup 2026. He is feeding breadcrumbs to the birds. The birds, small sparrows and finches, hop around his feet. They chirp softly, a gentle sound like tiny bells. The old man smiles. He has white hair and kind eyes, with wrinkles around them from years of smiling. He has seen many World Cups in his life, from 1970 to 2022. He no longer feels the need to watch. He prefers the garden. He prefers the birds. He prefers the quiet. After a while, he closes his eyes. He leans his head back against the tree trunk. The rough bark feels good against his scalp. He falls asleep on the bench, his hands folded in his lap. The birds continue to hop around him, unafraid. The fountain continues to bubble. The garden protects him from the noise of the world, wrapping him in a blanket of peace. His sleep is deep and peaceful. He dreams of green fields and blue skies, but not of football. He dreams of his childhood, of running through a meadow with his dog. He dreams of peace itself, in the shape of a garden. Now imagine a young boy who is too sick to watch the FIFA World Cup 2026. He has a high fever, 102 degrees. He lies in his bed with a wet cloth on his forehead. His room is dim, the curtains drawn against the afternoon sun. His mother sits beside him in a wooden chair, holding his hand. She tells him soft stories about friendly animals, about a rabbit who finds a lost key, about a squirrel who shares his nuts with a hungry bird. The boy cannot keep his eyes open. He drifts in and out of sleep, his breathing shallow and fast. Sometimes he hears distant cheering from a neighbor's television, the sound of a goal being scored. But the sound is muffled, like it is coming from underwater or from the other end of a long tunnel. The mother strokes his hair, her hand gentle and cool. She hums a lullaby, a song her own mother sang to her. The boy falls into a deep sleep. He dreams that he is on a soft cloud floating above a stadium. He sees the tiny players running below, like ants on a green carpet. He sees the ball moving back and forth, but he cannot hear them. There is only silence and the gentle movement of the cloud, rising and falling. He sleeps for many hours, the fever slowly breaking. When he wakes up, his forehead is cool. The cloth has dried. His mother is still beside him, reading a book. She gives him soup, warm chicken soup with tiny noodles. He feels better. He never watches the match that happened while he was sick. He does not know who won or who scored, but he does not mind. He remembers the cloud and the silence. That memory is sweeter than any goal. That memory is more peaceful than any celebration. Let us think about the security guards who watch the stadium all night. They sit in a small room filled with monitors, each one showing a different part of the stadium. Empty seats, row after row, thousands of them. Empty hallways stretching into darkness. Empty locker rooms, smelling faintly of sweat and soap. Empty concession stands, the grills cold and the soda machine silent. The security guards drink coffee to stay awake, cup after cup. They talk in low voices, telling each other stories about their families and their hobbies. One of them is learning to play the guitar, practicing chords on an air guitar. Another is building a model ship, a replica of an old sailing vessel. They pass the time slowly, watching the minutes tick by on the clock. Sometimes their eyes get heavy. They stand up and walk around the room, stretching their legs. They splash cold water on their faces from a small sink in the corner. They do push-ups on the floor to get their blood moving. They must stay awake so that the stadium is safe from intruders or vandals. It is their job to protect this place, even when no one is here. But when their shift ends at 6 in the morning, they go home. They close the curtains in their bedrooms, making the room as dark as night. They lie in their beds, which feel soft and welcoming. They fall asleep almost instantly, their bodies giving in to the exhaustion. Their sleep is hard-earned. It is deep and dreamless. They do not wake up until the afternoon, sometimes as late as 2 or 3 o'clock. The FIFA World Cup 2026 depends on them staying awake at night, watching the empty stadium so that you can sleep safely at home. Be grateful for them. Think of them tonight as you close your eyes. And be grateful for your own bed, where no one expects you to stay awake. Your bed is a gift. Your sleep is a gift. Receive it with thanks. Now visit a library during the tournament. The library is in a large city, one of the host cities of the FIFA World Cup 2026. It is a beautiful old building with high ceilings, marble floors, and wooden shelves that reach almost to the top of the walls. The smell of old books fills the air, a mixture of paper, ink, leather, and dust. The librarians speak in whispers, their voices barely audible. A few people sit at long wooden tables, reading or studying. They are not thinking about the FIFA World Cup 2026. They are thinking about history, poetry, science, art. A young woman is writing a letter to her grandmother, using a fountain pen and cream-colored paper. An old man is reading a biography of Abraham Lincoln, his finger tracing the lines. A teenager is doing math homework, his head propped on his hand. The only sound is the turning of pages, the soft scratching of pens, and the quiet ticking of a grandfather clock in the corner. Outside, the city is loud with celebration, horns honking and people shouting. But inside the library, there is only peace. The thick stone walls block out the noise. The library is a sanctuary, a place where noise is not allowed. At closing time, 10 o'clock, the librarians turn off the lights one by one. The marble floors gleam in the dim light. They lock the heavy oak doors, turning the large brass keys. They walk home under the stars, their footsteps quiet on the sidewalk. They do not know who won the match that night. They do not care. They eat a quiet dinner, perhaps a salad or a bowl of soup. They go to bed. They sleep the sleep of the peaceful, the sleep of those who have spent their day surrounded by silence and wisdom. Let's imagine a small town in Mexico. The town is not a host city for the FIFA World Cup 2026, but the people still watch the matches on television. They gather in the town square, where a large screen has been set up on the side of the old church. Families sit on blankets spread on the cobblestones. Children run around, chasing each other. Vendors sell elotes, corn on the cob with mayonnaise and chili powder, and churros, long sticks of fried dough covered in cinnamon sugar. It is joyful and loud, full of life. But after the match ends, the square empties quickly. The screen goes dark. The vendors pack up their carts, wiping down the counters. The families walk home, carrying sleeping children in their arms. The streets become quiet, the only sound the distant barking of a dog. An old woman sits on her porch, rocking in a wooden rocking chair. She looks up at the stars, which are very bright here, away from the city lights. She can see the Milky Way, a river of stars across the sky. She thinks about her husband, who passed away 10 years ago. He loved football. He played as a young man, and he never missed a World Cup match. She smiles at the memory, a warm feeling in her chest. Then she goes inside her small house. She lies in her bed, which is old but comfortable, with a thick cotton blanket. She closes her eyes. She falls asleep thinking of her husband's laugh, of the way he would jump up and shout when his team scored. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will continue tomorrow, with more matches and more excitement. But tonight, there is only memory and rest. Tonight, she sleeps in the arms of the past. Now think about the ball boys and ball girls. They are young, usually between 12 and 16 years old. They are chosen from local football clubs to help during the FIFA World Cup 2026. They sit on small plastic chairs along the edge of the field, just a few feet from the players. During the match, they jump up quickly to retrieve the ball when it goes out of play. They run to the ball, pick it up, and throw it back to the players. They run and squat and throw again and again for 90 minutes. They are fast and focused. They love being close to the action, hearing the players shout, feeling the wind from the ball as it flies past. But after the match, they are exhausted. Their legs are tired from running. Their arms are tired from throwing. They go home with their parents, who are waiting for them outside the stadium. They take a long bath, soaking in warm water that relaxes their muscles. They eat a big dinner, perhaps pasta or pizza. They lie in their beds and look at their phones, scrolling through photos and videos of the match. But soon their eyes get heavy. They put down their phones. They hug their pillows. They fall asleep quickly, their breathing deepening. Their sleep is deep because they are young and their bodies are growing. While they sleep, their muscles repair the tiny tears from running. Their brains sort through the memories of the day, filing them away. They dream of running on the grass, the ball at their feet. They dream of the ball flying through the air, spinning, curving. Their dreams are vivid but gentle, like a movie played in slow motion with soft music. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is exciting for them, but sleep is even more important. Sleep is where they become stronger and faster. Sleep is where they grow. Without sleep, they could not run again tomorrow. Let us visit a radio station late at night. The station is in a tall building in the center of a host city. A radio host is sitting in a small soundproof booth, a microphone in front of him. He is broadcasting a replay of an earlier match, describing the action for listeners who missed it. But he speaks in a low, calm voice, unlike the excited commentators on television. He describes the action softly, as if he is reading a bedtime story to a child. He does not shout or scream or jump. He whispers the names of the players. He describes the field as a green carpet, soft and even. He describes the ball as a white bird flying through the air. He describes the crowd as a gentle ocean, rising and falling. People listen to him on their headphones as they lie in their beds. Some of them are fans who missed the live match and want to catch up. Some of them are insomniacs who cannot sleep, hoping that his voice will soothe them. The radio host's voice becomes a lullaby. His words become soft pillows. One by one, his listeners fall asleep. They drift off during a corner kick or a penalty shot. The radio host knows this happens. He's been doing this job for many years. He smiles to himself. He continues talking, but softer and softer, slower and slower. By the end of the broadcast, at midnight, he is almost whispering. Then he says good night to his sleeping audience, a soft, gentle good night. He turns off the microphone. He leans back in his chair. He closes his eyes. He takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly. He has helped many people sleep tonight. That is a good feeling, a warm feeling. He packs his bag, walks out of the building, and goes home. He sleeps too, falling asleep as soon as his head touches the pillow. Now imagine a couple watching a match at home. They're in their living room, sitting on a comfortable couch. The lights are dim, only a small lamp in the corner. A blanket is spread over their legs. The television is on, but the volume is very low, almost a whisper. They do not cheer or clap. They do not shout or jump. They watch quietly, holding hands. The match is close, the score tied. But they are not stressed. They are not anxious. They are just enjoying the slow rhythm of the game, the back and forth, the passing and tackling. When someone scores a goal, they smile at each other and squeeze each other's hands. Then they go back to watching quietly. After the match ends, they turn off the television. They sit in the silence for a moment, listening to the sound of the house. The refrigerator hums. The clock ticks. Then they stand up. They brush their teeth together in the bathroom, standing side by side at the sink. They change into their pajamas, soft cotton, warm and comfortable. They lie in their bed, which has fresh sheets that smell like lavender. The room is dark. They talk softly about their day, about work, about their plans for the weekend. They do not talk about football. They kiss goodnight. They turn on their sides, facing each other. They close their eyes. Their breathing slows, becoming synchronized. They fall asleep at the same time, their hands still touching under the blanket. Their sleep is peaceful because they are together. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is just a small part of their lives. Their love is bigger. Their rest is deeper. They do not need the excitement of the tournament. They have each other. Let us think about the doctors and nurses who work during the tournament. They do not watch the matches. They do not have time. They work in hospitals and clinics, taking care of sick and injured people. They work long shifts, sometimes 12 hours, sometimes 24 hours straight. They see pain and suffering every day. They do their best to help, to heal, to comfort. When their shift finally ends, they are exhausted. Their bodies ache. Their minds are foggy. They go to a quiet room in the hospital, a break room with a couch and a small refrigerator. They sit down heavily. They close their eyes. Some of them fall asleep, sitting up, their heads falling forward. Others drive home carefully, fighting to stay awake, rolling down the windows to feel the cold air. They enter their dark houses, which are quiet and empty. They fall onto their beds without changing clothes. They sleep deeply for many hours, not moving, not dreaming. Their sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without sleep, they cannot think clearly. Without sleep, they cannot make good decisions. Without sleep, they could accidentally hurt someone. So they sleep with no guilt. They sleep as long as their bodies need. The FIFA World Cup 2026 does not matter to them. What matters is healing. What matters is rest. You do not have to be a doctor or a nurse to deserve deep sleep. You do not have to save lives to earn rest. You deserve it simply because you are alive. Your body needs sleep. Your mind needs sleep. So sleep well tonight. Sleep as long as you need. Now visit a park where children play football every afternoon. The park is in a small town, far from the bright lights of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The grass is not perfect like a stadium. It has patches of dirt and dandelions and clover. The goals are made of metal pipes with torn nets. But the children do not care. They run and laugh and shout. They pretend they are stars of the World Cup, scoring winning goals in the final match. They shout the names of their favorite players, Ronaldo and Messi and Mbappe. They celebrate every goal with cartwheels and screams and pretend trophy lifts. But when the sun begins to set, painting the sky orange and pink, their parents call them home. Their faces are red and sweaty. Their clothes are dirty with grass stains. They run home, already thinking about dinner. They wash their hands at the kitchen sink. They eat spaghetti or chicken nuggets or grilled cheese sandwiches. They take baths, the warm water relaxing their tired muscles. Then they put on their pajamas, the ones with cartoon characters. Their parents read them a story. The story is not about football. It is about a sleepy dragon who cannot find his cave, or about a rabbit who learns to share his carrots. The children listen with heavy eyes, their heads resting on their parents' shoulders. Before the story ends, they are already asleep, their mouths slightly open. Their parents kiss their foreheads. They turn off the lights. The children dream of green fields and golden goals, but their dreams are soft and sweet, like cotton candy, like a gentle breeze. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will be there tomorrow, with new matches and new heroes. But tonight, there is only sleep. Let us imagine a man who lives alone in a cabin in the woods, deep in the forests of Canada. He does not have a television. He does not have a radio. He does not have internet. He lives a very simple life, the kind of life that people lived 100 years ago. He cuts wood for the fireplace. He grows vegetables in a small garden. He reads books by candlelight in the evening. He hears about the FIFA World Cup 2026 from a neighbor who visits once a week, bringing supplies and news. He nods politely, but he does not care. He does not feel the need to watch. He prefers the sound of the wind in the trees, which changes with each season. He prefers the sight of the stars through his window, which are brighter here than anywhere else. At night, he cooks a simple meal on his wood stove, perhaps beans and rice or soup from a can. He eats slowly, looking out the window at the dark forest. He washes his dishes in a basin of water. Then he sits on his porch, wrapped in a wool blanket. He watches the darkness. The forest is quiet except for the occasional hoot of an owl or the rustle of a small animal. He goes inside. He lies in his bed. The bed is made of wood, built by his own hands, and has a thin mattress filled with straw, but it is comfortable enough. He closes his eyes. He thinks about the river where he fishes for trout. He thinks about the mushrooms he will pick tomorrow, the ones that grow under the old pine trees. He falls asleep easily, without effort. He does not dream of football. He dreams of the forest, of the river, of the sky. His sleep is deep and natural, like the sleep of an animal, like the sleep of the earth itself. Now think about the referees one more time, because they have a special ritual before bed that you can use too. After every match, they sit in a circle in the locker room. They take off their shoes and socks. They put their feet flat on the floor. They close their eyes. They talk about the match calmly, without anger or blame. They say what went well and what could be better. Then they close their eyes and breathe together for 5 minutes, inhaling and exhaling at the same time. This helps them release the tension of the game. Then they go to their rooms. They take long showers. They lie in bed. Each referee has a small notebook next to the bed. They write down one thing they are grateful for from that day. It does not have to be about football. It could be a nice sunset. It could be a kind word from a player. It could be a good meal. Writing down gratitude helps them sleep better. Then they close the notebook. They turn off the light. They fall asleep with a sense of peace. You can do the same thing tonight. Before you close your eyes, think of one thing you're grateful for. It does not have to be big. It could be your pillow, which is soft and cool. It could be the sound of rain outside your window. It could be the fact that you are safe and warm and loved. Let that gratitude fill your heart, like warm water filling a cup. Then let sleep take you. Let us visit a beach in Mexico during the FIFA World Cup 2026. The beach is in Cancun, a popular tourist destination. During the day, the beach is crowded with fans who have come to watch matches on large screens set up in the sand. They drink cold beer and eat fish tacos and swim in the ocean to cool off. The atmosphere is festive and loud, but at night, the beach is almost empty. The crowds have gone back to their hotels or to the bars. The screens are dark. The vendors have packed up their carts and gone home. A few couples walk hand in hand along the water's edge, their feet leaving prints in the wet sand. A few children build sandcastles by moonlight, using plastic buckets and shovels. But most people are gone. The only sound is the waves. They crash and retreat, a rhythm that has been going on for millions of years. The sound is steady and soothing, like a heartbeat. A woman lies on a blanket in the sand, far from the hotels and the lights. She is alone. She came to the beach to escape the noise of the tournament. She looks up at the stars. The sky is huge and dark, and the stars are incredibly bright here, away from the city lights. She feels very small, but in a good way, a peaceful way. She feels part of something larger, something ancient. She closes her eyes. The waves sing to her. The sand is soft beneath her, warm from the day's sun. She falls asleep on the beach, the blanket her only bed. The waves continue to crash. The stars continue to shine. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is just a distant memory, a small event on a small planet. Here, there's only peace. Now imagine a bus full of fans traveling from one host city to another. The bus is large and comfortable, with seats that recline almost flat. The lights inside are dim, a soft blue glow that is easy on the eyes. The fans are tired after a long day of watching matches. Some of them are already asleep, their heads resting against the windows. Their mouths are slightly open. One man snores softly, a gentle rumble like a distant train. A woman has draped a scarf over her eyes to block the light. Another man has put in earplugs to block the sound. The bus driver drives carefully, his eyes on the road. He avoids bumps. He takes the smoothest highways. He wants his passengers to rest. They have traveled far to see the FIFA World Cup 2026. They have spent a lot of money. They deserve a good sleep on the bus. The bus moves through the night, the engine humming softly. The highway is dark, with only the headlights and the occasional glow of a distant town. The bus driver turns on soft music over the speakers, instrumental music without words. It sounds like a lullaby, slow and gentle. The sleeping fans do not hear it consciously, but it enters their dreams and makes them peaceful. The bus arrives at dawn, the sun just beginning to rise over the hills. The driver gently wakes the passengers, touching their shoulders and speaking in a low voice. They stretch and yawn. They step off the bus into the fresh morning air, which smells of grass and dew. They are ready for another day of football. But first, they're grateful for the sleep they got on the bus. That sleep will carry them through the day. Let us think about the tournament organizers. They work for years to plan the FIFA World Cup 2026. They have meetings and conference calls. They deal with budgets and permits and security. They solve problems every day, big and small. Their minds are always busy, always planning, always worrying. But at night, they go home to their families. They eat dinner at the kitchen table, talking about normal things, not about work. They play with their children, building blocks or playing board games. They watch a little television, a comedy, or a nature documentary. Then they go to bed. They lie in the darkness and try to quiet their minds. Sometimes it is hard. Sometimes they think about the work they have to do tomorrow, the problems they still need to solve. But they have learned a trick over the years. They focus on their breathing. They count each breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. They count up to 10, then start over. This keeps their minds from wandering. After a few minutes, their bodies relax. Their thoughts become fuzzy, like clouds dissolving. They fall asleep. The organizers know that rest is not laziness. Rest is part of the work. You cannot plan a World Cup if you never sleep. You cannot make good decisions if you are exhausted. So they honor their sleep. They protect it. They do not let the tournament steal it. You should protect your sleep too. It is not a luxury. It is a tool. It is a weapon. It is how you win the day. Now visit a mountain cabin far from any city. The cabin is in the Rocky Mountains at an elevation of 8,000 feet. The air is thin and clean. The cabin belongs to a retired football player, a man who played in 3 World Cups for his country. Now he is old and tired. His knees hurt from all the running. His back hurts from all the tackles. He does not watch the FIFA World Cup 2026. He does not want to remember the pressure and the noise and the stress. He wants only peace. He spends his days fishing in a nearby lake, sitting in a small boat with a fishing rod. He reads old novels, the ones he never had time for when he was playing. He chops wood for the fireplace, the axe swinging in a steady rhythm. At night, he cooks soup on the stove, a thick vegetable soup that simmers for hours. He eats it slowly, savoring each spoonful. Then he sits by the fire. The flames crackle softly. The warmth spreads through the room, chasing away the mountain cold. He thinks about his life. He has no regrets. He did his best. He played with joy. Now it is time to rest. He goes to bed early, usually by 9 o'clock. His bed is simple: a wooden frame, a wool blanket, a feather pillow. He lies down. He closes his eyes. He listens to the wind outside, which sings a soft song through the trees. He falls asleep within minutes. He dreams of the lake, of the fish swimming below the surface, of the sun setting behind the mountains. He does not dream of stadiums or crowds. He has left all that behind. He has found something better. He has found rest. Let us imagine a family who does not own a television. They live in a small apartment in a big city, one of the host cities of the FIFA World Cup 2026. They have heard about the tournament from their neighbors and from the signs on the streets, but they have not watched a single match. Instead, they spend their evenings playing board games and reading books. The mother reads aloud from a novel while the children draw pictures with crayons. The father plays the guitar, soft chords that fill the room with warmth. They sing soft songs together, old folk songs and lullabies. At 9 o'clock, the children go to bed. The parents read for another hour, each lost in their own book. Then they go to bed too. Their apartment is quiet. The only sound is the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic. The city outside is loud with celebration, horns honking and people shouting, but inside it is peaceful. The family sleeps deeply. They do not wake up during the night, not even when a group of fans sings loudly outside their window. They are used to the city noise. In the morning, they eat breakfast together, toast and eggs and orange juice. They talk about their dreams. The children dream of dragons and princesses and flying horses. The parents dream of gardens and oceans and quiet forests. The FIFA World Cup 2026 does not enter their dreams. Their dreams belong only to them. They are rich in the things that matter most: love, peace, and rest. Now, think about the footballs again. Thousands of footballs are used during the FIFA World Cup 2026. They're made in factories in Pakistan and China and Vietnam. They are shipped across oceans in large containers, stacked on pallets. They are pumped with air to the correct pressure, tested with special gauges. They are checked to make sure they are perfectly round, with no bumps or lumps. During matches, they are kicked and headed and thrown. They fly through the air at high speed. They hit the back of the net. They roll out of bounds. They are touched by the hands of the best players in the world, the heroes of millions of fans. But after the tournament, most of these footballs will be forgotten. They will sit in storage rooms for years, gathering dust. Some will be given away to schools and charities, bringing joy to children who cannot afford to buy their own. Some will be sold as souvenirs in gift shops. Some will end up in landfills, buried under trash. But before they are forgotten, they will rest. They will rest in boxes and bags and closets. They will not complain. They will not miss the glory. They will simply be still. You can learn from the football. You can learn to rest without needing a reason. You can learn to be still without feeling useless. Rest is enough. Rest is good. You do not have to be productive every moment. You do not have to be entertained every second. You can simply lie in your bed and close your eyes. That is enough. That is good. Let's visit a hospital near a stadium. During the FIFA World Cup 2026, the hospital is busier than usual. Some fans get dehydrated from drinking too much alcohol. Some get into fights after matches. Some have heart attacks from the excitement. But at night, the hospital is quieter. The emergency room slows down. The hallways are dim, with only the night lights on. Nurses walk softly, their rubber shoes silent on the floor. Patients lie in beds with white sheets, connected to machines that beep gently. A young woman is in recovery after surgery. She had her appendix removed earlier that day. She is weak and tired. She cannot watch the matches because the television in her room is broken. But her brother brings her a small radio. He puts the earbuds in her ears. He turns to a station that describes the match softly, the one that is happening right now. The commentator's voice is low and calm, like a bedtime storyteller. The young woman listens with her eyes closed. She imagines the green field. She imagines the players running. She imagines the ball moving. She falls asleep with the earbuds still in her ears. Her brother removes them gently. He kisses her forehead. He turns off the light. The machines continue to beep softly, monitoring her heart. The young woman sleeps. Her body heals while she sleeps. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is just a sound in the background, a distant murmur. What matters is her rest. What matters is her healing. Now imagine an old man in a nursing home. He is 90 years old. He has dementia, which means he does not remember much of his life. He forgets names and faces. He forgets what he ate for breakfast. But he remembers football. He played as a young man on dusty fields with no grass. He loved the game. Now he watches the FIFA World Cup 2026 on a small television in the common room of the nursing home. His eyes are not good, so he cannot see the details. But he listens to the sounds. The cheers, the whistles, the commentator's voice. These sounds make him feel young again. They bring back memories of his youth, of running and laughing with his friends. But after the match, he is tired. A nurse helps him to his room. The room is small, with a bed, a dresser, and a window that looks out at a garden. She helps him into his bed, lifting his legs and covering him with a blanket. She tucks the blanket around him, making sure he is warm. She holds his hand for a moment, a gentle touch. He smiles at her, a toothless smile. He closes his eyes. He falls asleep quickly. He dreams that he is 20 years old again. He is running on a green field. The sun is warm on his face. His teammates are laughing around him. The ball is at his feet. He kicks it, and it flies into the goal, the net bulging. But the dream is quiet. There is no crowd. There is no cheering. There is only the joy of movement, the joy of the game. He sleeps peacefully through the night. The FIFA World Cup 2026 continues on the television in the common room. But he is in his dream, young and free and full of life. Let us think about the cleaning crew who work after every match. They are the first people to enter the stadium after the fans leave. They push large brooms, wide and soft. They carry heavy trash bags, black plastic. They pick up cups and wrappers and programs and ticket stubs. They sweep the aisles, pushing the trash into piles. They mop the floors, leaving them wet and shiny. They wipe down the seats, removing the sticky residue of spilled drinks. They work in silence, late into the night. The stadium is empty and echoey, every sound bouncing off the walls. Their movements are slow and methodical. They do not rush. They know that the stadium will be full again tomorrow, with new fans and new trash. But tonight it belongs to them. They talk in low voices, telling each other jokes. They share snacks, passing a bag of chips back and forth. They work as a team, helping each other with the heavy lifting. When they finish, hours later, they gather in a small room near the loading dock. They drink water from bottles. They stretch their arms and legs. They change out of their uniforms, which are dirty and sweaty. Then they go home. They sleep until noon, their beds soft and welcoming. Their sleep is hard and deep. They dream of clean floors and empty seats. They do not dream of football. They dream of the satisfaction of a job done well. The next night, they will do it all again. The FIFA World Cup 2026 depends on them, but they do not ask for recognition. They do not ask for thanks. They only ask for a chance to rest. Now visit a small town in Canada. The town is in British Columbia, surrounded by mountains and forests. It is hosting a match of the FIFA World Cup 2026, one of the smaller venues. The streets are decorated with flags and banners. The local businesses are busy, selling souvenirs and food. But there is a quiet corner of the town that no one visits. It is an old cemetery on a hill overlooking the town. The gravestones are worn and mossy, some of them dating back 100 years. The trees are tall and old, their branches shading the ground. A young woman sits on a wooden bench in the cemetery. She is not watching the FIFA World Cup 2026. She is visiting her grandmother's grave. She brings flowers, fresh roses from the garden. She places them on the stone in a small vase. She sits in silence. She remembers her grandmother's voice, soft and kind. She remembers her grandmother's cooking, the smell of fresh bread. She feels sad, but also peaceful. The cemetery is very quiet. The only sounds are the birds singing and the wind moving through the leaves. The young woman stays for an hour, just sitting and remembering. Then she stands up. She wipes her eyes. She walks back down the hill, the grass soft under her feet. She goes to her hotel, a small and near the river. She lies on the bed. She does not turn on the television. She closes her eyes. She thinks about her grandmother. She falls asleep with a tear on her cheek. But her sleep is deep and healing. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is loud and bright, but she has chosen to visit a quiet place. She has chosen to honor her feelings. That is a kind of rest too. Let us imagine a young man who is a huge football fan. He has been waiting for the FIFA World Cup 2026 for 4 years. He has saved every penny, working extra shifts at his job. He has taken 2 weeks off work, using all his vacation days. He travels to 3 different host cities: Los Angeles, Mexico City, and Vancouver. He watches 6 matches in 7 days. He screams and cheers until his throat is raw. He drinks beer and eats stadium food. He buys souvenirs, jerseys and scarves and hats. He is having the time of his life. But after 7 days, he is exhausted. His voice is gone, nothing but a whisper. His legs hurt from standing and walking. His eyes are bloodshot from lack of sleep. He cannot remember the last time he slept more than 4 hours. On the 8th day, he decides to skip a match. He stays in his hotel room. He pulls the curtains closed, making the room dark as night. He lies on the bed, which is soft and inviting. He closes his eyes. He falls asleep almost immediately, as if he has been pushed into a deep pool. He sleeps for 14 hours straight, not waking once. When he wakes up, he feels like a new person. His eyes are clear. His voice is back. His legs feel strong. He goes to the next match with fresh energy, and he enjoys it more than any of the previous matches. He cheers louder. He jumps higher. He realizes that he does not have to do everything. He does not have to see every match. He can rest. He can choose sleep over excitement. And that choice makes the excitement even better. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is a marathon, not a sprint. You cannot sprint a marathon. You need rest. Now, think about the trophy again. The FIFA World Cup trophy is very famous. It has been lifted by some of the greatest players in history: Pelé, Maradona, Zidane, Messi, Ronaldo. It has been kissed and held high. It has been photographed from every angle. But the trophy itself does not feel pride or joy or excitement. It is just an object. It is a piece of gold, shaped into a statue of 2 figures holding up the earth. It sits in a velvet-lined box for most of its life. It only comes out for a few minutes every 4 years when the winning team lifts it. Then it goes back into the box. The trophy does not mind. It does not get lonely. It does not get bored. It does not long for the spotlight. It simply exists, still and quiet. You can learn from the trophy. You can learn to be content with stillness. You do not always need to be in the spotlight. You do not always need to be busy. You can sit in your bed and do nothing. That is not a waste of time. That is rest. That is how you recharge. The trophy recharges for 4 years. You recharge every night. That is a beautiful thing. That is a gift. Let us visit a quiet street in a host city. The street is lined with small houses, each one with a porch and a garden. Most of the lights are off. It is 2 in the morning. A cat walks along the sidewalk, a black cat with green eyes. It stops to sniff a flower growing in a small garden. Then it continues, padding softly. A car passes slowly, a taxi. The driver is a tired man, working the late shift. In the back seat, a fan is sleeping. The fan's head is resting against the window, leaving a small smudge on the glass. His mouth is open. He looks peaceful. The taxi driver looks in the rearview mirror and smiles. He has driven many fans this week. Some are loud and drunk, singing and shouting. Some are quiet and tired, like this one. He prefers the tired ones. They are easy to take care of. They do not cause trouble. He arrives at the fan's hotel. He gently taps the fan's shoulder. The fan wakes up slowly, blinking. He pays the driver, adding a generous tip. He stumbles into the hotel, yawning. The taxi driver drives away. He looks for another passenger, but the streets are empty now. The celebration is over for the night. He decides to go home. He parks his taxi in the garage. He walks into his apartment. His wife is asleep, her breathing slow and even. He lies down beside her, careful not to wake her. He closes his eyes. He falls asleep within seconds. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will start again in a few hours, with new matches and new fans. But for now, the city sleeps. The taxi driver sleeps. The fan sleeps. Everyone sleeps. Now imagine a grandmother knitting a scarf while watching a match. She is not a big football fan. She does not know the names of the players, but she enjoys the company of her family. Her grandchildren are jumping around the living room, wearing jerseys and waving flags. They are excited. The grandmother knits slowly, her needles clicking in a steady rhythm. The yarn is soft and blue, the color of the sky. She does not look at the television much. She looks at her grandchildren. She loves their excitement. She loves their laughter. She loves the way they hug her after every goal. When the match ends, the grandchildren run to their rooms. They change into their pajamas, the ones with superheroes and princesses. They come back for hugs and kisses. The grandmother hugs each one, holding them tight. She tells them she loves them. Then they go to bed, their parents tucking them in. The grandmother sits alone in the living room. She finishes a row of knitting, then another. She admires her work. The scarf is growing longer. She puts it down on the couch. She turns off the television. The room becomes quiet. She goes to her room. She lies in her bed, which is a quilt made by her own grandmother. She thinks about the scarf she is making. It is for her grandson, the oldest one. He will wear it next winter when the snow falls. He will think of her. She smiles. She closes her eyes. She falls asleep thinking about his warm neck, his smile, his love. Her sleep is soft and gentle. She dreams of yarn and needles and love. Let us think about the end of the FIFA World Cup 2026. After a month of matches, after 64 games, after goals and saves and tears and joy, the tournament ends. A champion is crowned. The trophy is lifted. Fireworks fill the sky above the final stadium. The winning team celebrates, hugging each other, crying with joy. The losing team falls to their knees, crying with sorrow. The fans go wild, cheering and singing. But then, slowly, the stadium's empty. The players go home to their families. The fans go back to their jobs and their schools. The flags are taken down from the streets. The banners are rolled up and stored. The city streets become quiet again, like they were before the tournament. The grass on the fields grows long, uncut. The seats in the stadiums collect dust. The world takes a deep breath, a collective sigh of relief and exhaustion. And then the world sleeps. Everyone sleeps. The players sleep for days, catching up on all the rest they missed. The coaches sleep. The referees sleep. The journalists sleep. The fans sleep in on weekends, not setting alarms. The whole world catches up on rest. Because after the biggest event comes the biggest rest. That is the natural order. That is the untold story behind football's biggest event. The story is not about the goals or the glory. The story is not about the trophies or the celebrations. The story is about the silence after the final whistle. The story is about the deep, healing sleep that follows the storm. The story is about you in your bed with your eyes closed, breathing slowly, letting go of everything. So tonight, as the FIFA World Cup 2026 continues somewhere in the world, you do not need to stay awake. You do not need to watch every match or read every update. You do not need to check your phone or refresh your feed. You do not need to know the score. You only need to lie in your warm bed with your soft pillow and let your eyes close. Let your thoughts become slow and fuzzy, like clouds passing across a gentle sky, like leaves floating down a quiet river. Let your body sink into the mattress as if you were sinking into a soft, warm ocean, the water holding you gently. Let the sounds of the world become a distant hum, a lullaby from far away, from another room, from another life. You are safe. You are warm. You are loved. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will still be there tomorrow. There will be more matches, more goals, more celebrations. But tonight belongs to you in your sleep. Tonight belongs to the quiet. Tonight belongs to the dream. So breathe in slowly, feeling the air fill your lungs with peace. And breathe out slowly, letting go of every worry, every thought, every sound. Let your chest rise and fall like a gentle wave on a calm beach. Let your muscles relax one by one, starting with your toes, moving up to your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your stomach, your chest, your fingers, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your eyes, your forehead. Let them all become soft and heavy. And when you are ready, let go completely. Let go of everything. Let sleep take you into its soft, dark, endless arms. You have done enough today. You have earned your rest. So sleep, dear friend. Sleep through the FIFA World Cup 2026. Sleep through the noise. Sleep through the night. And wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed, renewed, and ready for whatever comes. Also, like and subscribe to my channel. Ancient Tales Sleep. Good night, sweet dreams.